Shalom. Call hello Yahweh Shem Abishai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To the scattered elect that are scattered among the four corners of the earth, many that be like unto the speckled bird, scattered among the heathens, looking like the heathens. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. Now, just a overview of current events and things that's going on, prophecies in motion. I just watched a video with the Apostle Elder Tahar. And it was a video about a step closer to World War III, and we are every day that goes by, every second that ticks on the clock, every minute that goes by is closer to the day of the big event of Yahweh B'Shem Abishai, the day of the Lord. But World War III is not going to go full blown until the chip is enforced. But mark my words, World War III has started. Actually, it's been started. World War III actually started with 9/11. If you really want to be, it's just been a slow process to lead up to to where we are now. All right, so it's no is no stranger to creating collateral damage. What I mean by that is by destroying his own property, destroying some of his own people, his own citizens, just to fulfill his agenda. A perfect examples of that is the Emperor Nero, the Edomite Roman Emperor Nero, who basically burned down Rome. And it started with Circus Maxima, which was a gigantic wooden stadium where they had chariot horses and chariot races, which were deadly. It was mostly Jake in those arenas, fighting, dying, and entertaining in those arenas in the first place. But that stadium was ginormous, and and it was made mostly of wood, a perfect tinder for a fire. So it was set ablaze, and then the whole place went up, and then that fire jumped, and it went over into the upper class neighborhoods where of Rome. And as a result of that, it just created a gigantic inferno of death and, labyrinths of the narrow cities, because the smoke was so bad, people couldn't escape the fire, or in some cases ran right into it thinking they were running away from it. So it was an immense loss of life, destruction, and it burned for 6 days. And then that fire died down, all right? And then the next thing you know, it started up again. The fire didn't go completely out, because all it takes is a little oxygen. So, so the fire started up again. It burned for another 9 days, man. So Rome was almost utterly destroyed. And I think if I'm not mistaken, it was 15 districts. All right. But I know four districts were completely destroyed and several were damaged. So, that sounds about right. That's 12, so that would leave 3. So yeah, I believe it was 3 that was okay. But so damn near all of Rome had to be rebuilt, man. And who did they blame it on? They blamed it on the Israelites. They blamed it on the Jews, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, for the most part, because that was the majority of the Israelites that were in that part of the world. There were some Northern Kingdom, that was still there, intermingled with the kingdom of Judah, but there was mostly Southern Kingdom. And they took the blame for that, One of the reasons that, this is a scripture that I like to go to. This is Acts 18:1. And this is one of the reasons why Claudius had the Jews expelled, right? They needed an excuse, because I believe that was in 64 BC, if I'm not mistaken. But I know that shortly, not long after that though, came the the destruction of Judea. All right, and how we had to flee with Vespasian and his son and Titus, you know. But this is Acts 18:1, and it reads, "And after these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately from Italy." So there was a Jew that was born in Italy, probably spoke Latin and Italian too, you know. But he was Jew. But he was a Jew though, a dark fleshed man, you know, like the images that are all in the catacombs. All right, it says, "Lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them." And so you got to understand the reason why the Jews were forced to depart from Rome was because of what we're doing now, going out on the highways and byways. It was because of aggressive street teaching. What were they doing? They were aggressively teaching on the streets, not attacking people, just teaching aggressively that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. They were teaching it back then. All right? And you got to understand, the kingdom, teaching that the kingdom of heaven is at hand is only for the Israelites, which goes against the ruling class, which was Edom back in ancient Rome, the same way as Edom today in this modern day Rome / Babylon. So it's the same thing. The truth of the gospel of the Bible is a threat to E, which is why he does things or he has done things, you know, over a period of time to keep the truth away. One of those things is you know, something as simple as land ownership. All right, because you know, they knew when you go into the Apocrypha, I think that's in Judith if I'm not mistaken, when it talks about how the one Ammonite, who was really an Israelite, breaks down, you know, to the heathen that if these people keep their laws, then you can't do anything against them. But if you can get them to sin against their power, so that's been Esau's playbook all along. All right, he understands that. So by keeping you from knowing the name and keeping you from having land, it's almost impossible to please the Lord. And so he knew that he could stay in power for a period of time. And now that time is up, because the Israelites have woken, the elect have woken. The gospel have gone to the four corners of the earth, which is why the events are popping off like they're popping off now. And even a lot of scoffers of the Israelites who didn't believe are now rethinking their scoffs. As a matter of fact, the scoffing, it never stops, but it definitely slowed down tremendously, especially the scoffing about the chip. All right, and remember, World War III can't go full blown until the mark of the beast is implemented. But let's go with a little current event here. All right, so now after that whole thing between America and Iran, missiles fired, you know, the drone that killed the general, and then Iran you know, fires missiles into, you know, and destroys a couple of American bases, but kills no one. And all of a sudden, a plane gets shot down, a Ukrainian plane over Iranian territory, over Persian territory. Let me just even stop saying Iran, because those are really the Persians, really the Elamites. Matter of fact, when you look up, you know, El Kazakh, you know, did a great job on you know, his breakdown, his latest video, and he broke down the word Carmenian, and he even told you that that word goes back to Elam, the Elamites, man. So that's exactly who they are, you know, the Elamites, and you know, this thing is getting serious, man. It's definitely getting very, very serious. Okay, but you know, you have now they're blaming the Iranians for shooting down this Ukrainian plane. So you mean to tell me that you can destroy two bases, you know, with skill, with accuracy, but then you accidentally shoot down a civilian plane, and they're coming with You know, with that whole it could have been an accident, or our intelligence have discovered. You mean the same intelligence that said that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but they never were there? You know, the same intelligence that used the same crisis actors in multiple terror attacks. You can visibly see the same people, you know, with blood on their clothes, and you know, and traumatized, and the same person is in other terror attacks too. The same people, like that picture of that little girl that was used in 3 different. That one little Ishmaelite girl, she looked like Ishmael. That was in 3 different terror attacks. You know, it's just these same people. They use the same MO all over again, man. When they're supposedly, I'm trying to remember who it was. They said they used chemical attacks on their own people, but then when they went and looked up the munitions and found out that the munitions were American or Israeli or something to that effect, and they use it as an excuse to attack people. You know, let's grab a scripture, man. This is Proverbs 17. And 4, and it reads, a wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Then we look on the screen, even Nancy Pelosi had her doubts about this. And she also says that the airstrikes that DJ Trump didn't make, you know, this place safer, didn't make this country safer. And she's actually right. All right? Because, you know, Donald Trump was pumping his chest and beating his chest and giving his victory speech, you know, with his nerdy nasal voice, like he's done something great. But in saying that, you know, that everything will be okay, and it's not. All right, this is 1 Thessalonians 5:3, and it reads, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. So, you know, this didn't make this place safer. All right? And it also looks like America is gearing up for some sort of false flag attack so that they can attack someone. The same way they created lies, you know, with the Hebrew Israelites, with all these incidents with stabbings and attacks and anti this and anti that, you know, putting things on television about Hebrew Israelites that's totally contrary to what the Hebrew Israelites teach and the way they conduct themselves, you know. And then they film these COINTELPRO pro camps that they've set up themselves. These guys who's taking a payout or was set up from the get-go. All right, to be caught on film shooting firearms and, you know, all militant like, and that's not what we're about. But that's the picture that they're trying to paint, because that's what these people do. You know, that's what they do. This is Psalms 58:2. And it reads, yeah, in the heart ye work wickedness. Yeah, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. That's E. E does that. And then he'll blame it on someone else. Like I said, it's called collateral damage. They profit from war. Look at Halliburton. Blackwater. All right? They set up agencies for security, and then they set up other agencies to build weapons. Hey, look at that movie, The Lord of War. All right? They finance and fund both sides, man. There was a movie that came out a couple years back with what's my little chubby fake Jew dude? I actually like him. He's funny, man. The one that was in that was in that movie with my man McLovin. Noah something, man. Well, he was in this movie with this other Edomite where they were selling arms for the government, man. And they were just showing you how they fund wars and conflicts, and then they make money. They make money to build infrastructure. They make money by loaning money to these different places, and then when the people can't pay, they contract out their people as labor, or they get a grip on that country's resources. All right. So you can't make contracts with E, man. This is Psalms 94 and verse 20, and it says, "Shall the throne of iniquity fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn the innocent blood. But Yahweh is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yeah, Yahweh, our power, shall cut them off." Call Halal Yahweh Bashim Abashai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.